So, welcome to Next Generation Teaching. Today is episode 8 of series 1 on planning and curriculum design. And today we'll be looking at AI as your teaching excellence partner. By the end of this episode, you'll be equipped to use AI not just as a planning assistant, but as a powerful partner in your ongoing professional growth. You'll discover how AI can support meaningful reflective practice, helping you think more deeply about your teaching and the impact it has in the classroom. You'll learn how to use AI to strengthen and extend your subject knowledge, keeping you connected to current research and emerging ideas in education. You'll explore how AI can help you prepare for, process, and take purposeful action following lesson observations and appraisals, turning feedback into genuine professional momentum. You'll be guided through building a personalised, AI-enhanced professional development plan that reflects your context, your strengths, and your aspirations. And importantly, you'll gain clarity on where AI can elevate excellence and where your uniquely human judgment, expertise, and intuition lead the way. By the end of this episode, you'll walk away with a complete AI toolkit designed to support your continuous development as a teacher, practical, empowering, and ready to use. So, what's the difference between a good teacher and a great one? It isn't the qualification, it isn't the number of years in the classroom, and it isn't even, despite its importance, subject knowledge. Research consistently points to one defining factor. A great teacher is a continuously learning teacher, someone who reflects with intention, someone who seeks out feedback instead of shying away from it, someone who reads, thinks, tests, adapts, and approaches their own professional development with the same care and rigour they bring to their students' learning. But there's a challenge, and that is time. Deep, deliberate reflection, the kind that meaningfully shapes practice, requires the sort of headspace that most teachers simply don't have, especially after 5 lessons and a parents' evening on a Tuesday evening. And this is where AI becomes genuinely exciting, not as a shortcut to excellence, because there is no shortcut, but as a partner, a tool that helps you to make far more of the precious time that you do have. It's a thinking partner, a research assistant, a feedback processor, a CPD planner, ready whenever you are. This episode is all about that. How you can use AI not just to plan better lessons, but to grow as a professional practitioner. How you can develop your expertise, strengthen your reflection, and step closer to excellence, with AI working alongside you every step of the way. Great teaching isn't a destination, it's a continuous, deliberate process of reflection and growth. AI cannot make you excellent, but it can significantly enhance how consistently and effectively you pursue excellence. The teachers who benefit most from AI aren't the ones who hand their thinking over to it, they're the ones who think harder with it. John Dewey said that we do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. Donald Shon, whose work on the reflective practitioner has shaped teacher education for decades, distinguished between 2 kinds of reflection. Firstly, reflection in action, which is the real-time adjustments we make whilst we're in the classroom. And then there's reflection on action, which is the deliberate analysis we do afterwards. It's the second kind, reflection on action, that AI can genuinely transform, because the quality of your reflection depends on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. And most of us, if we're honest, ask ourselves the same questions in the same order every time. Did they understand it? Did the activity work? What would I change? Now, these are fine questions, but they aren't enough. AI can push your reflection further, making it deeper, more specific, more connected to evidence in ways that a journal entry alone can't. Using AI for post-lesson reflection. Now here's a practical workflow. After a lesson, spend 3 minutes noting down what happened, not a polished account, just honest raw notes. Then give those notes to an AI tool and ask it to interrogate them. Ask it to identify patterns, to connect your observations to what you know about learning theory, to push back on your interpretations, to suggest what you might look for in the next lesson. This is an AI prompt that you can use, so maybe you want to write it down and try it now. Here are my raw notes from a lesson on. Then just say what topic and what year group, and then paste your notes. Then ask the questions. Please help me to reflect more deeply by 1. Identifying any patterns or themes in what I've described. 2. Connecting my observations to what research says about learning. 3. Pushing back on any assumptions I might be making. 4. Suggesting 2 specific questions to investigate in my next lesson. And 5. Naming one thing I should not change and explaining why it's working. Notice the 5th prompt, name one thing I should not change. This is deliberate. Reflective practice is not just about identifying weaknesses. It's equally about understanding what you're doing well and why, because that understanding is what lets you do it consistently and teach others to do it too. Then you can use AI to reflect on student data. When you mark a set of books or review assessment data, AI can help you to move from observation to action far faster. Rather than looking at 28 exercise books and forming a general impression, you can note patterns systematically and use AI to help you turn those patterns into specific, targeted next steps. Here's an AI prompt, and again, this is something that you could try now. I have just marked a class set of work on, and then add the topic and assessment. And here are the patterns I noticed, and that's where you can type your observations. You can list common errors and the strongest responses. Then you would type, please help me. Number 1, identify the likely root cause of the most common errors, misconception versus gap in knowledge versus skills deficit. 2, suggest a 10-minute targeted intervention for the next lesson. 3, generate 3 follow-up questions to check whether the intervention has worked. 4, identify any students who appear to need further individual support based on these patterns. Hattie and Timperley in 2007 said that feedback that identifies where the learner is going, how they're progressing, and where to go next produces the largest learning gains. The same framework applies to teachers as learners. Knowing your current level, your target, and the next steps is what makes CPD effective. Cordingley et al. In 2015 stated that teacher professional development is most effective when it involves sustained reflection over time and not one-off inputs. The EEF in 2021 said that teacher-level formative assessment, which is teachers reflecting on their own practice, is a significant predicator of sustained instructional improvement. Just things to consider when using AI to support you as a teacher. Let me say something clearly. Deep subject knowledge is the most important professional asset a teacher has. Hattie's meta-analysis consistently shows that teachers' conceptual understanding of their subject, not just surface familiarity, but genuinely deep knowledge, is one of the most powerful predictors of student outcomes. But here's the reality of the profession. Teachers are often so busy teaching that they have little time to continue learning. The subject specialist who taught A-level history 15 years ago has probably not had the time to engage seriously with the newest historical scholarship. The English teacher who loved Dickens as an undergraduate has probably not had time to read the latest literary criticism. The science teacher who trained on one specification may not have revisited the underlying science since. AI can help you to engage with your subject at a deeper level, quickly, accessibly, and on your timetable. Here are 3 ways to use it. Firstly, AI as a subject knowledge conversation partner. Use AI to explore your areas of subject where you want to go deeper. You could, for example, ask it to explain the historiography of a period, or ask it to summarize the current scientific consensus on a contested area, or ask it to walk you through the literary criticism on a text you're teaching. Then push back, ask follow-up questions, and challenge the responses. This is not research in a formal sense. Always verify anything you intend to use in teaching, but it is an excellent intellectual engagement that makes you a better thinker about your subject. You could use this as an AI prompt. Act as an expert in, and then put your subject, with deep academic knowledge. I am a secondary teacher and want to deepen my understanding of, and then say what topic you want to do. Please, 1. Give me a clear explanation of the current scholarly consensus. 2. Identify the main points of academic debate or disagreement. 3. Name 2 to 3 key thinkers or sources I should be aware of. 4. Connect this to common student misconceptions I should address in teaching. And 5. Suggest one question I should research further to deepen my own understanding. Secondly, you've got AI for subject-specific research summaries. There is now an enormous body of educational research that is directly relevant to how you teach your subject, and most teachers never get to see it. Not because it doesn't exist, but because it's locked behind paywalls, written in academic language, or simply too time-consuming to find and read. AI can give you accessible summaries of research relevant to your subject and your practice. Ask it to summarize the research on reading comprehension in history. Ask it about the evidence on worked examples in mathematics. Ask it what the cognitive science literature says about teaching complex vocabulary in English. The key principle always is to treat AI summaries as a starting point for your own verification and not as the final words. So this is an AI prompt that you can try for research summary. I am a, and then put in your subject, teacher. Summarize what the educational research says about, and then that's where you put in your specific pedagogical question, e.g., teaching extended writing or vocabulary acquisition, graph interpretation or source analysis. For each key finding, state the finding in plain language, identify the strength of the evidence, give one practical implication for my classroom, cite studies where possible, flag anything where the evidence is contested or unclear. Use AI subject knowledge sessions as a standing item maybe in your weekly planning time. Even 15 minutes per week compounds significantly over a year. Always verify AI subject knowledge claims before using them in teaching, particularly dates, statistics, quotations, and scientific claims. The best use of AI for subject knowledge as a conversation partner that surfaces what you don't know, not just what you do. Lesson observations and appraisals represent some of the most significant professional development opportunities a teacher has and some of the most consistently underutilized. Too often, the pre-observation lesson gets treated as a performance rather than a genuine learning experience. The post-observation conversation is a one-off event rather than the beginning of a sustained development thread. The appraisal targets are written, filed and forgotten, and that's if the appraisal is actually linked to your observation. AI can transform each of these moments from isolated events into components of a genuine, continuous professional growth cycle. Pre-observation or planning for professional insight. Instead of prepping a performance lesson for an observer, use AI to help you prepare a lesson you genuinely want to learn from. Share your lesson plan with an AI tool and ask it to identify the aspects of your teaching that the observation could usefully focus on. Not the aspects most likely to impress, but the aspects where genuine professional learning is possible. So this is an AI prompt that you could use. Here is the lesson plan I am preparing for an observation. That's when you paste the plan. I want to use this observation as a genuine learning opportunity and not a performance. Please help me. 1. Identify 2 specific aspects of my teaching I could ask my observer to focus on. 2. Suggest 3 questions I should ask my observer during the post-observation conversation. 3. Identify any potential weaknesses in this plan I should be prepared to discuss. Identify any potential weaknesses in this plan I should be prepared to discuss. Suggest what evidence of student learning I should be collecting during the lesson itself. And then you have the post-observation processing feedback for maximum growth. After an observation, use AI to process the feedback you received, not to defend against it, but to interrogate it productively. What does the feedback tell you about patterns in your practice? What does the research say about the areas identified? What would meaningful change actually look like, and what would it feel like to implement? Here's an AI prompt that you could use. I have just received observation feedback, and here are the key points. Then you paste the feedback. Please help me to use this feedback for maximum professional growth by identifying the most important development priority from this feedback, connecting the feedback to any relevant research or evidence, suggesting 3 specific, observable actions I could take in my next lesson, suggesting how I could evidence progress on this target over the next 4 weeks, identifying any strengths in the feedback I should build on deliberately. And then you've got appraisal and professional development planning. AI can also help you to build a professional development plan that is genuinely personalised. One thing that starts from your specific context, your specific strengths and areas for growth, and your specific career aspirations. A CPD plan produced with AI involvement is far more likely to be meaningful and actionable than one produced by filling in a standard form. So this is an AI prompt that you can use for professional development planning. Help me build a professional development plan for the next academic year. Then you add in your context, maybe the year group, the subject, or the school phase. Then you say your current strengths from your observation, feedback, and self-assessment. Then you list your development priorities, your career aspirations, and then you ask it to generate 3 SMART development targets aligned to my priorities. For each target, ask for 2 specific CPD actions, 1 success indicator, 1 AI tool that you could use, a suggested timeline across the 3 terms for this to be completed. In practice, how a head of department could use AI for professional development. She uses a standing monthly AI session she calls a professional audit. On week 1, she could use post-lesson reflection on the most challenging class of the month. Week 2, subject knowledge session on a topic she feels less confident teaching. Week 3, data reflection, patterns from recent marking and assessment. And week 4, CPD planning, reviewing targets and identifying next actions. Total time approximately 20 minutes per week. Her words after 1 term were, I feel like I'm actually developing again and not just surviving. So I want to give you a framework that pulls everything in this episode together and that you can use as a standing structure for how AI supports your ongoing professional excellence. I call it GROW, 4 stages, each with a specific AI application and each building on the last. So G is for ground, know your starting point, AI application, your post-lesson reflection prompts and student data analysis. Question: what is the honest current reality of my practice right now? R is for reach. Identify where you want to be. Using your AI, you can use CPD planning prompts and observation target setting. The question you would ask is, what does excellent look like for me in this specific area? O is for options. You can explore the pathways to growth. The AI application for this, it could be about subject knowledge, deepening, and research summaries. For example, your question could be, what strategies, evidence, and approaches will help me to get there? And then W is for way forward. Commit to specific actions. Your AI application is action planning prompts and feedback processing. And the question could be, what exactly will I do? By when? And how will I know it has worked? This growth framework is not new. It originates in executive coaching and has been widely applied in teacher professional development. What AI does is make each stage more actionable, giving you a thinking partner at every point, rather than requiring you to do all 4 stages alone in your head on a Tuesday evening. The most important principle in this framework, you will know that in every stage of growth, the AI is answering questions that you have asked, not generating a professional development plan for you, not deciding what your development priorities are, not telling you what excellent looks like in your classroom with your students. You do all of that. AI helps you to think it through more rigorously, more quickly, and with more reference to evidence than you could easily manage alone. The intelligence in this framework is yours. AI is the infrastructure that makes that intelligence more effective. So what is the research evidence? Well, Grant in 2012 said coaching frameworks like Grow produce significant improvements in goal attainment and professional well-being in educational contexts. Timperley et al. In 2007 said best evidence synthesis on professional learning. Depth of reflection and connection to evidence are the strongest predictors of practice change. Kraft and Papay in 2014 said, teachers in schools with strong professional development cultures improve significantly faster across their careers than those in schools without. Teachers who engage in collaborative, reflective professional development report significantly higher professional satisfaction and self-efficacy. So, 8 episodes, and look at what you have built. You now understand the architecture of purposeful lesson planning from the inside out. You can design backwards from outcomes, sequence a coherent curriculum, differentiate with genuine cognitive scaffold, plan for every learner, including those with SEND, save significant planning time with AI, co-plan without losing your professional integrity, and use AI as a genuine engine of your ongoing professional excellence. That is not a collection of tips. That's a complete evidence-based AI-enhanced professional framework, and it belongs to you. Here's what I want you to carry forward. AI is a professional partner. The teachers who use it most effectively are not the ones who hand their thinking over to it. They're the ones who think harder, more systematically, and more reflectively because of it, who ask better questions, who act on feedback more quickly, and who grow more deliberately. That is the kind of teacher you already want to be. This series, hopefully, has given you the tools to do it more effectively than ever before. Series 2 is coming, retrieval practice and memory science. If this series was about what you plan, the next one is about how students learn, and the AI thread runs all the way through. So thank you for your time and your trust. Remember, excellent teaching is the result of continued, deliberate, evidence-informed reflection and not natural talent. AI can support every stage of professional growth, reflection, subject development, feedback processing, CPD planning. The Grow framework gives you a standing structure, ground, reach, options, and way forward. So thank you for listening to Series 1. It's now complete, and you have a professional toolkit that no teacher had 5 years ago. So use it. So we have now finished the first series of planning and curriculum design with the support of AI. I hope that these episodes have provided some ideas to help you save time and improve lesson planning and student outcomes. And using what you have learned, why not try to start the growth cycle this week using the steps above to support you? But please remember, AI isn't a replacement for a teacher. On its own, AI cannot make you excellent. Teacher input remains crucial in the process. However, AI can make your pursuit of excellence unstoppable. So, if you found this information useful, please click on the like and subscribe to the channel and click on the notifications button for further videos. Thank you very much. This is Next Generation Teaching.